What's going on, guys? In this video, I want to go over, maybe when to not take the 20 SMA play. Again, this rule is not set in stone, okay? So there could be instances where you let a 20 SMA trade go because it doesn't align with your rules and it ends up working and you would have made money. That's not something to kind of go back on and kick the dirt around and say, well, maybe I should just take every single one of these trades. One thing that kind of shies me away from taking some of these setups is if I look at my higher time frame. Like, so for example, let's look at this chart on the screen. On the left hand side is a 1 hour view. On the right hand side is a 5-minute view, and I want to show you two cases, right? Because I run a lot of different screens on my monitors, so I'm always kind of looking at the 15-minute higher time frame, and I'm always looking at the 1 hour. So let's start with the 1 hour on the left hand side. Let's start with the 5-minute on the right hand side, and I'll go into the 15-minute chart. If we kind of look at Friday's price action, literally the at the top of the hour, we lost the VWAP, we lost the daily 5, we lost the daily 10, and we lost the 20. Okay, we never reclaimed it at all. So automatically, any following price action that is trading below that supply, we should be thinking short. Okay, so if we get a long setup, like here's one here that happened on Friday between 8 and 8:30. Here's one that happened between 8:30 and 9. Here's one that happened between 9:30 and 10. Here's one that happened between 10 and 10:30. Maybe these trades you want to ignore, okay? And maybe you don't ignore all of them, but maybe you ignore about 60 to 80% of them, meaning you would only probably try your luck at taking one of them, and if it fails, just kind of walk away, okay? The reason being is that your higher time frame here is showing that you are trading below supply. So if you're trading below supply, you have areas of resistance here, 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 and here. And because you have those areas of resistance, those longs got a 50-50 shot at maybe working for 5-10 points, or maybe just getting rejected altogether, okay? So what I would want to focus on would be the shorts. Here, here, here. This one confirms, doesn't really do much, but here, right? Obviously here, okay? So I want to focus on the short-sided setups just because I'm kind of going in motion a little bit more. Now, would every single one of these shorts work? I don't know. Let's go ahead and look. The first one, yes, I can clearly tell you it would have worked. The second one here, yes, I can clearly tell you it would have worked. Let's look at the third one here. This one here is kind of a very quick one. The low price was 21,851. The next candle drops down to 833. So yeah, if you're looking for under 10 points or 10 points, yes, you would have gotten paid. This one here doesn't get confirmed until 21,866 is broken, and that happens right here, and it shoots down to 64 and then shoots down to 47. So yeah, this one would have worked as well. This one would have clearly worked. This one here would have chopped you up a little bit here into the close. It would have worked, but it would have taken a very long time, like all of power hour, to get those 10 plus points. So I would stick to your higher time frame and kind of go with those trades a lot more of the time. Let's go into the 15-minute chart. On the 15-minute chart, nothing changed, right? Once we lost the 20 SMA on the 15-minute chart and we lost the daily 5 and 10, we should have been staying short bias. So essentially, Friday's price action was a day where 100% of your trades should have been more to the short side of things. Now, does that mean that the longs didn't work? No. I mean, you had a long that worked here. You had a long that worked here. You had a long that probably worked here. Yeah, this one would have worked. So, and then this long would have worked too. So you did have some trades that worked to the long side. But again, a lot of these trades are outside of my window. So that would have required me to not only be trading for about 5-6 hours, but it would have required me to take a lot of trades. And remember, the more trades you take, the higher the probability that you're going to give some profits back, because there's a clear instance here where this trade confirms and gets absolutely smoked, right? So there's a trade here that confirms long and it absolutely gets smoked. So yeah, if you made some money on the downside and then you made a loser here, well, you kind of gave back your profits and some. And then if you take another trade here, well, maybe you just lost again here, and then maybe you won here, and then you lost here. You're kind of just splitting hairs. Does that make sense? So when you're splitting hairs going short and then long and then short and then long and then short and then long, this is probably what your P&L is going to look like. It's going to be up and then down and up and down and up and down and up and down. So instead of just kind of sticking with one side of the move in your trade window, which in this case would have been short, short, and short, right? So we want to play our odds going one direction versus splitting the odds going both sides. Now, again, when you're a scalper, you can definitely trade long and trade short. Just keep in mind that the more trades you take, you're going to lose trades along the way. There's no trading strategy that's 100%. Maybe you might have a specific day where you go undefeated and you win every single trade that you take, but over a long series of trades, right? Over 50 trades, over 100 trades, you're going to have losing trades in there. We just want to make sure that the losing trades that we're taking are legitimate in confluence with the bias, right? Like we don't want to be going against the trend. So when it comes to a fact of when do you know not to take a 20 SMA play? I'm going to not take those 20 SMA plays or shy away from them a lot more when I know it's going against a higher time frame trend, okay? So if the higher time frame trend, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour chart, any one of those charts is showing me that the pressure is down, I want to stray off of the longs a little bit more, okay? And again, I'm human. Sometimes I do take those longs. If I do take a long against the higher time frame trend and it's a losing trade, that account that I was trading, it doesn't get traded anymore, okay? Because I didn't not necessarily broke a rule, but I did something that, I knew was a little more risky and, I got slapped on the wrist for it. So let's just save that account for another day. The only other thing that I can kind of vouch for that helps me is having multiple accounts. Because if I take this trade on one account and then this trade on another account, and let's say I do take a long that loses on another account, so that's a loser, and then I take this trade and that's a winner, and I take this trade on another account and that's a winner, going against the trend, well, guess what? I was able to trade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts, and I took one loser, okay? So in that particular case, you finishing the day with 4 accounts in the green, 4 winners, and then you're finishing one account that was a loser. So all in all, you're still net positive on the day. But the only way that you can do this, you can't do it if you've got 1 or 2 accounts that you're trading, for sure, because then you're going to take those losses in those accounts that are taking those winners. So utilize Apex's 80% off sale, utilize buying those accounts. Again, if your budget is a little tight, then you don't got to go out there and buy 10, 20 accounts. Go buy 2 or 3 accounts, whatever you can afford. That way you can spread out your risk, because the more you spread out your risk on day-to-days, you're going to be a lot less stressed when you do take those losers. So I definitely always recommend every single week until you have max allocation, you are constantly investing into your business and buying buying evaluations, turning more of those evaluations into funded accounts. It definitely helps with the mental side of things. I hope that gives you a little bit of a clarification on when I'm deciding not to take some trades. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you do want to join Evolution Traders, that link is down in the description box below. I will see all of you guys on the inside.